Winterclash is over again. We had a really good time. We built a beautiful booth and our team riders did amazing at the competition. Winterclash is the biggest event in aggressive inline skating. All the pros from all over the world come to Eindhoven in the Netherlands and compete against each other. And of course, there's a big trade show area. We, from Thisissoul Skate Shop, are there, of course, showing what we do. And what we do is enabling people to compare what the differences are between the different brands and making sure they have all the knowledge they need to make good decisions. So that's what we do here on this YouTube channel as well, informing people about all these little details, what sets all the parts apart. We also do tutorials on this YouTube channel. So like if you want to increase your skills, you're at the right place, because we're gonna do an aggressive skate series. And I think even if you're like an advanced skaters, I'm gonna have some insights for you that will increase your skills. This year's booth was amazing again. We upended ourselves a little bit. Of course, we always try to do better than last year. And this year we brought 300 pairs of skates. It took us more than a week with multiple people full-time working to prepare all this, because we had to write the price tags and we had to like take all the left skates out of the box so that we can put them on the chain, so that you as a customer could just go to your chain with the right size and then try everything on. Doing this, we try to recreate what we have in Berlin and in Amsterdam, because we have 2 shops right now and we're actually building a 3rd one. So this is a little bit of a premiere. It's going to be in a very cool city. It's going to be announced, I think, in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned to the channel if you want to know more about that. One other thing that we did was we brought a lot of spare parts and put it in the first aid for your skate kit. This way we could help people with all minor problems. Really try to recreate what we have in Berlin and Amsterdam, as well in Eindhoven. We also had a big cabinet with our Thisissoul gear. We have, of course, the cool jackets, the wallets, the caps, the army pants. And in that cabinet were also pictures of our riders, Odette, Bas, Jaro and Levi. One other cool thing we introduced here at the Winterclash was our Thisissoul wax. We already had wax in the past. We even did a cess sliding competition where we waxed the ground. But for, I think, over a decade, we didn't really have it. And now I'm super stoked that it's back. It's in a heart shape, because that's also the perfect shape if you want to wax a ledge. It already has like the cutout in it. And of course, a heart is the same shape as a skate, and the skate is our logo. It works like that really well. We were not the only ones at the trade show, of course. There were multiple brands presenting their new stuff. Let's go through all of them and see what new stuff they brought. The Cougar brand was there with a big booth. They released a white skate, so that's cool. I actually like the look of the white skate, so that was really nice. And they have a flow skating frame now. I don't know when it's going to be out, so I didn't check that, but hopefully this year. When it does, of course, you can order it on thisissoul.com. It's pretty cool to have a 5-wheel frame like that, and it was also a 4x90. So it's interesting to see that they're pushing it a little bit in that way as well. Then there was Them presenting their new skate, which was the 901. The 901 is an entry-level skate. It's a lot cheaper because it uses a different material. This is the PP plastic, and this material is a lot stiffer. The same happened with Roces, because the Roces called normally is more expensive, but now they made a level 1 skate also from PP material. And this is also the same material that has the Impala skates. It's interesting to see how brands are now starting to experiment with different types of plastic, also to change the cost of the skate, but also to change the stiffness of the skate. Because the 901 is stiffer, actually, it might be better for big wheel skating. This stiffness is good if your leverage of your frame is bigger, of course. Do know that we're especially talking about sideways stiffness and also stiffness in the fit and in the lacing area here. The forward flex might just still be the same. I haven't tried it, so that's still something that we need to find out. All the parts of the 901 are compatible with the 909. It even uses the same cuff. As far as I've seen, there are no differences. But the cuff is also in the PP material. They redesigned the sole plate, which is a little bit wider now, and the groove sits nicely in the middle, which I like. They also have a new frame, and the new frame is good for flat skating and anti-rocker skating, so they say at least. The next brand I want to touch on is the Roces brand. They were there with their new Fifth Element skate, which is an Ilya Safosin Pro skate. It has the new RF1 frame, which is a frame that looks a little bit nicer than their old frame, but actually I think their old frame also is like super good. So it definitely looks really nice, the FR1 frame. It did not have the RL2 liner. It has the normal Fifth Element stock liner. The M12 that they presented, which is the M12 Plus, did have the RL2 liner. And this RL2 liner is, I think, like 150 euros or something. Like, it's not a cheap liner. And this makes the skate then thus also a lot more expensive. So normally a Fifth Element is more expensive than an M12. But in this situation, the M12 is actually more expensive because of this liner. The Plus skate also features a wider sole plate. They kept almost everything the same on the sole plate, like look-wise, but it's just they added a few millimeters to the width. Alessandro Cavasin was there, and unfortunately, Alessandro doesn't really speak English. But for those who don't know, Alessandro is probably one of the most knowledgeable people about Roces, the Roces history that there are. The Roces Fifth Element Ilya Savasin and the Roces M12 Plus are now available on our website for a pre-order. All right, let's go to the next brand, which is Faction. They were there with the booth and they have a new hard boot. It's cool that they presented it there with a lot of the sizes so that people could actually try it and see how it feels with their foot and how the flex is. Interesting about the hard boot is, again, that it's also the same hardware of their previous skates. So the sole plate that would fit on their carbon boot also fits on the hard boot. And I think that's the first time that's ever been done, that a sole plate was designed for a carbon style boot and then transferred to a hard boot. The fit and the shell sizes are exactly the same. So also there's a lot of molds, like every size has a different mold, so that's pretty cool. It's just that the fit is a little bit longer at the toe area, but in general the fit is just the same. The hard boot is of course a cheaper skate because it's mass produced more. The liner is a little bit thinner and it has high density foam. The pre-order is also for this on our website right now. The delivery will be in March. One really cool thing that might have gone a little bit unnoticed is actually the Faction Urban skate that they released. I think this is a really special skate because normally urban skates have like a 165 millimeter mount, and any of these boots have a ridiculously high difference between the bottom of your foot and the bottom of the frame. So the part that fits the mounting is really high, but on some of the aggressive skates, it's actually really low. So they kind of like solved the challenge on how can you make an urban skate that sits as low to the ground as possible. With their urban skate, the front of the boot sits flush above the wheel actually. So this is as low as you can make a 165 millimeter mounted boot, which is really cool. I think this will be one of the first in like a whole series of skates. I think that other brands will definitely copy this as well. So you'll, in like a couple of years, you'll definitely see this style more. And it's really cool that they initiated this change. One of the reasons why I don't skate 165 millimeter boot is because of this added height, and I want to be as low to the ground as possible. Then they did something else, which is really interesting. They made like a heel racer adapter so that you could fit the original sole plate from the aggressive skates also on their urban boot, which is great. And I don't think that this will make a more worse version of the aggressive skate. So I actually like plastic heel raised boots. I don't want a shock absorber. A shock absorber takes away a lot of the energy. So if I would pick a Faction skate to do aggressive skating with, I would actually pick their urban boot because I like that better, to have like a more stiff skate for my aggressive skating. We have a behind the brand video coming up with Clark from Faction Skate, where he tells the story on how he started Faction. Pre-order for these skates is on our website. Next brand that was there was Mesmer. They had a booth with some pants, caps, the new TS3 skate, some new 60mm wheels, and of course loads of posters and stickers and stuff. And it's nice that you can meet the riders who are hanging out there. Levi van Rijn is of course our team rider, but he also skates for Mesmer, so he was there as well a lot. Right next to Mesmer was Powerslide, USD, Anui, Icon, MyFit. This is kind of like this all fits under the Powerslide umbrella. So they share the booth. There were loads of products. If you want to dive deeper into some of those products, we have been to the Powerslide warehouse. And about a lot of the products that were presented there, we already made a long, in-depth video. So if you want to hear me ramble on about some of these products that were there, check out those videos as well. For now, I'm going to touch on only on the things that we didn't really cover in other videos, which is the Playlife Rave Skate. The liner looks really thin. The design looks okay. I think the sole plate looks nice. The shell is not the most beautiful shell, I think, but the frame is just a Fluid 5, and the price will probably be super cheap. So as an entry-level skate, I think this will do really well. USD Carlos Bernal Sway was presented. It has a little bit of a soft top, and sometimes these soft tops, they function by like improving the lacing area, so that if you pull on the lace rings, that you tighten the lacing area better. But for this skate, it's just the looks. They just like glued some fabric on it, and it doesn't actually change how it's laced, because it's still, I tested it, it's still super stiff. They had, of course, the new ACT skate, which is about to drop. And one other interesting thing is a flexible shin pad. So Anui has like two shin pads, one like normal one, and one is the Chris Farmer Pro shin guard. But these are both really hard and thick. They now made like a more flexible one, which is a little bit easier to put underneath your pants. All right, the next brand that I want to touch on is FR. They also had a big booth. They brought loads of products. They were there with all the UFS products that they have, because FR is, of course, also a big wheel brand. And but they have a couple of aggressive skates and aggressive frames. One of the most underappreciated frames probably was their 4x90 rocket frame, because it's actually pretty cheap, and it's a 4x90 rocket frame, which is a great frame. I think for most people, if you want to have a big wheel frame, this is a perfect size, because it's movable and it's fast. 4 wheels is, of course, better than 3 wheels. So cool. The next brand is Ado. Ado is a clothing company from Berlin. They design everything in-house, and they had a cool like logo press to show everybody what they do, because they make their own clothing. So they design their own clothing. They also have a couple of factories, of course, which they work together with, but they do a lot themselves as well. We got some of their stuff, so it's also going to be soon available at our shop. There were 2 areas of the trade show. So what we now discussed was the upstairs part, and there was also a downstairs part. So let's dive downstairs and see what was up there. There were a couple clothing brands like Rolito, Wheels, Soma, and Drug Receipt. For Arlo from Drug Receipt, it was the first time being present with this brand. Arlo is, of course, a legend. So it was really cool seeing him there. For some of these clothing brands also, we took away some of the shirts, so they're going to be up in the next couple of weeks and available at our web shop. Then there was Red Eye Wheel Company. They have a new wheel. It was white and blue, so that will also be available soon on our web shop. Then there was Great Originals. They have the CRS frame. It's going to hit this summer. And if you don't know about the CRS frame, it is a suspension frame, and they already released it. I don't even know how long ago, but it might be 10 years ago. Echo was there for the second time. Now, the first time they showed the products, and it was a brand new brand, but they didn't really sold a skate yet, for aggressive skating at least. But now, 1 year later, they feel a little bit more established, because we have been selling those skates a lot. It's been really good sales year for Echo. I like what they're doing with the brand. The brand image is really nice. I like their riders. This year, the new product was their free skate. The free skate is a revolutionary model. I cannot say otherwise, because one of the constraints also what I touched on with the faction skate is that especially the front part of the mount. So there's, of course, under the heel you have a mounting, and under the toes. So the part that's under the toes, it just sits in the way for the wheels to be lower and closer to your foot. So the obvious solution is to make a mount with the bolts on the side of the wheel, just like it is on an ice hockey skate or something. The original skates from the 80s, from the 90s, they actually all had that, but it was not a replaceable, like really smart mount where you could just like bolt it on and off. The Trinity concept is also like that. So Trinity is also a good thing, but they decided to do their own thing. They made, I think, one of the best aggressive skates on the market, at least mounting wise. It's just such a good skate. The fit is a little bit wide and tall, so it has a high instep, and the flex is really flexy. Keep that in mind. Basically, I went through all the brands and everything that they had left behind. We have it now at Thisissoul. So if you missed out on Winterclash, basically you can check our website and find everything there. Rollerblade was there with a big presence this year. They had the new Cameron skate, cool little design with the forest look on it. It's cool that they have a new pro skate because the previous one was, of course, a couple of years ago. The booth looked really big and they had a lot of clothing specially made. So all their riders had like sweater jacket. It was cool seeing them all with that gear on. They had t-shirts, they had beanies, they had hats. The flow frame was there, of course. Yeah, they did a good job also sponsoring the competition. So good job, Rollerblade. And the next brand is Standard. Standard released last year with the V1. And the release of the V2 was like a couple of weeks ago. Now they really had the chance to let everybody try the V2 who wasn't able to come to one of our shops. It was nice seeing Lawrence again. It's cool to see what he did. He even made some extra caps. I love caps. The new V2 is selling like crazy. It's a more flexible version of the same mold. The colors look dope. And it's also cool that they have the options of a shell only, a boot only, and a complete skate. Then the last thing I want to touch on was a brand that makes like easy to build up quarter pipes. So of course, I don't know if everybody needs an easy to build up quarter pipe, but you can use for street skating. If you want to have like a run up, you can just throw this one in the car because it fits. And also cool because of course we have a skate shop and we have a skate school, but we also do like events. So it's interesting to see stuff like that so that we can maybe put a little obstacle somewhere at an event one day. So it was good talking to the owner. At Saturday, 15:30, the trade show stops and the fun begins. We had to rush in 1 hour. We pulled down all the chains, put all the skates and the gear in boxes, and we borrowed a really big truck, Studenten Verhuisservice. So if you ever want to move your stuff, thank you Marijn, and watch our riders. Levi already competed at a high level during the bowl contest, but he has been injured the last month and he really wants to focus more on making street parts. Jaro, however, was super stoked and super high focused. He won the best line award. And I remember this line because as soon as he dropped in, he didn't stop. He just skated, I don't know, for 2 minutes or something. At least that's how it feels like. And it was just trick after trick after trick. And he landed them all. And usually when I skate, I do like 2 or 3 tricks and then I'm done. I have no energy, but Jaro just, his energy is infinite, it seems. I was also super stoked to have Sven Boekhorst on Thisissoul pants. So thank you, Sven, for that. And then one other great rider, Gilles from Belgium. He also was wearing the Thisissoul pants. The end of the heat, everybody has to do a best trick. And his best trick, 3 tries. First, just feeling it a little bit. Then the second was a full torque with a little tap to try the torque. And then the third try was just a perfect frontside torque on the big box. So everybody was excited. In the finals, Jaro's didn't work, unfortunately. In practice, he did it. So he know he could do it. And then even after how many tries did he get? Like 5 or something. He still didn't manage to do it. And that was because there was some beer on the ground and he didn't have the width and the grip. In the end, Julian Cadeau won. And of course, well-deserved because he's a great skater. So we had an amazing time. After that, it was dance parties everywhere and just chilling, hanging out and drinking beers, meeting friends, talking to people. At the prize ceremony was also the Best Setup Award, and that was sponsored by us. It was the Thisissoul Best Setup Award. So people during the entire event could come by our shop and show us their skate. We could make a picture of it. In the end, I thought the most beautiful skate was one that was entirely customized with a purple shell from the Fabiola da Silva skate and all black parts. So it was actually a really clean looking skate. It was just a USD Aeon, so nothing special in that. There was no like cutting in it or no like special parts on it like that. But it was like the best looking skate, I think. At least from the ones that came by our booth. So if you think that you have a better looking skate next year, then just come by the booth and show it. Maybe you're going to be the best setup next year. I wouldn't miss this in the world. And if you listen to this, Be sure to follow Winterclash official on Instagram and really keep an eye out on when the tickets get available, because last year the tickets were sold out in 3 days. Okay, and there's more than 1,000 people there. So if you want to join this event, you have to be quick. And then hopefully we'll see you next year at the Winterclash at our pop-up shop that we have there. If you cannot make it to Winterclash, you can also come to one of our other stores, of course, or go to our webshop, Thisissoul.com. And if you like more content like this, heads up in the industry, what new products are coming, but also hardware insights and in-depth reviews, then check out the channel. We make a new video every week. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye-bye.